Okay, welcome back. Mr. Cohen here, back with another lesson. This one is on the distributive property in algebra. Here I've set up two problems, and I'm going to show you two different ways to solve the problem. One using the distributive property and one not. So this here, 2 times in parentheses 7 plus 4. Now most of you know your order of operations pretty well, so you know do what's inside the parentheses first. 7 plus 4 is 11. 2 times 11. Notice how I just put them next to each other in the parentheses? That means multiply. 2 times 11 is 22. That is not using the distributive property. I'm going to show you how to use the distributive property on the second one. It's the same problem, 2 times in parentheses 7 plus 4. But this time we're going to do it with the distributive property. With multiplication, we take our 2 and we distribute our 2 across what's inside the parentheses. So in this case, we'd say it's 2 times 7, and we also have to distribute it to the 4. And because it's plus 4 times 2. Okay? 2 times 7, 14. Plus 4 times 2 is 8. 14 plus 8 is 22. Same answer. Not using the distributive property, using the distributive property. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why would I use the distributive property if that way is a lot easier than doing it this way? Well, we're talking about algebra in class, and with algebra, it is imperative, which means very important, that you learn the distributive property. Because what if I hit you with a problem like this? 5 times a plus 2 in parentheses. Well, you can't go ahead and add a plus 2 if you don't know what a means. So what you have to do is you have to distribute the 5. So in this case, 5 times a, just put them next to each other, that means 5 times a, plus, and I put plus because it's adding, 5 times 2. Let's do it. 5a, multiplication, we don't know what a means, so we'll leave that as 5a, plus 5 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10. 5a plus 10. There's nothing else we can do. Unless we know what a is, then we could solve it, but we don't. So this is showing the distributive property. And same thing with this one. This is 8 times, in parentheses, x plus 3. Distribute it out. 8x plus 8 times 3. Again, we can't do 8x because we don't know what x means. 8x plus 8 times 3, we can do that. 8 times 3 is 24. 24. Again, showing the distributive property. 8x plus 24. Now, that's not all the distributive property is good for, because I'm going to show a way that will help you with some mental math. Here I have 9 times 4 and 1/3. And I don't like the way that 1/3 came out, so I'm just going to rewrite it. 9 times 4 and 1/3. Okay. Using the distributive property, it makes multiplying mixed numbers a little bit easier. So let's distribute. It's really just saying 9 times 4 plus 9 times 1/3. Okay, makes it a little bit easier. Let's do the multiplication. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 9 times 1/3. I just put my 9 over 1. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1, so it's really 36 plus 3. And 36 plus 3 is 39. Let's try another one. Here I have 12 times 2 1/4. Again, I don't like the way that 2 1/4 looks, so I'm just going to rewrite it. 12 times 2 1/4. Let's distribute. It's really 12 times 2 plus 12 times 1/4. 12 times 2 is 24 plus 12 times 1/4. I just put 12 over 1. Let's simplify before we multiply. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So it's 3 times 1 is 3 over 1. 24 plus 3 over 1 is just 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. Again, the distributive property just makes it a little bit easier. You can break off, in this case you break off the 4, break away the whole number, so then you're left with the fraction. It's just a little easier way that maybe mentally it'll help you with fractions and mixed numbers. One more thing with the distributive property I want to show you. This, you can factor the expressions. Now, if you think of prime factorization, which is you're going to look for the biggest number to go into both. It's like doing the distributive property, but doing it in reverse. Here I have 9 plus 21. I think to myself, what's the largest number that can go into both? The largest number is 3. So it would be 3 times, how many times does 3 go into 9? 3. Plus, and it's plus because it's plus there, how many times does 3 go into 21? 7. Boom. It's just doing the distributive property in reverse. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3 times 7 is 21. So let's try this one. 14 plus 28. What we're going to do is we're going to look for what's the largest number that can go into both. That's going to go on the outside. 14 and 28. So I think 14, 28. I think 14 is the largest number that can go into both. 14 on the outside. In my parentheses, how many times does 14 go into 14? Once. Plus, how many times does 14 go into 28? 2. And we're left with 14 times 1 plus 2 in parentheses. And there we have our answer. I gave you a couple sample problems to do at the bottom of your worksheet. Give those a shot. Any question you have, write them down in your note sheet. We'll talk about it in class.